Hey guys, this is kind of like a very quick and like informal video. I tried to make a PowerPoint. I'm just gonna like talk it on the spot. I think that would be best. But for patch 14b, I was very confused at first just because of the massive change to the meta in such a short time in the start of a new set. But since then, I have been able to figure out a strategy that has been working for me and that has been keeping me like getting consistent LP. And so I wanted to kind of just go over like what I've been doing. It might help someone else, might not, either way. Okay, so right now the comps, basically like the early game is how I decide my early direction. What I slam in stage 2, it will most likely decide the direction I take for the line. These items up here are kind of like, to me, the best early slams to help with direction. Shojin is extremely flexible. Like, this can go into AP lines, AD lines, can really go into anything. Rageblade also goes into good lines this patch. These two, I kind of like, when I play these, I normally see these together, like in my games, but these also have like, this is less flexible. I would say this is probably like not flexible compared to these items. This one and this one are probably, this is the most flexible. And then these, if you open up with like Hodge or BT, you know, Rengar, right? Yeah, so you see Rageblade, if you have Rageblade early slam, you can go Zeri with vertical Exotech, or you could go the Nitro Flex angle. You could also go Vayne, but I personally only go like Vayne reroll Vanguard if I also get category 5. You know what I mean? Because like to me, like it can get bottom 4. It can with other max capped stuff. I've seen it, and so personally I want to pair that with Rageblade and category 5 for the optimal, and that's a rare condition. For Rageblade, good like beginning opener holders for Rageblade. There's Kindred, Kog'Maw, Jhin, and Vayne. They're good examples. Then Shojin, the most flexible slam, I would say. Carries that take this item are Brand, Ziggs, Misfortune, Xayah, Aurora, and in the Executioner reroll, Varus can take this, and then in the Rengar reroll with Street Demon, Jinx is actually one of her best items too. So as you can see, this is a very flexible item. This is great. You know, this keeps your options open. This narrows you down to Rengar and then IE and Last Whisper, so Infinity Edge and Last Whisper. I put them together as a combo. They don't have to go together, but like they work really well together, and for me, like Misfortune uses both of them, Xayah uses both of them. So I tend to like to build both of them together, but you can build them, like, this is not super linear, this is just like my strategy, this isn't like a rule. But Jinx 3-star in the Rengar reroll is good with that and Shojin, so that's why Shojin's so flexible. Xayah is good, you can build her into Anima Squad. There's a Vanguard build, honestly it's really not that strong this patch. I've seen it do very bad with full upgrades. It can be good though, but I don't recommend it. Samira can go on, she's nerfed, but she can be played in like level 9 of like some Street Demon boards. Jhin 3-star, honestly playing Tempo Nitro is better in my opinion right now in this meta than playing this, surprisingly. And then Misfortune can take these items, and Graves is good with Last Whisper, but I don't like to put IE on him. There's other better items for him, but Last Whisper on Graves is also really good in like the Executioner reroll or just for an item holder. And Kindred, Jhin, Jinx, Senna, they're good item holders for Infinity Edge and Last Whisper. Then Bloodthirster, Hand of Justice, and then Titans. These are like good melee openers for me right now. When I see this, aim for Rengar. Just aim, because it's like, that's like one of the most destructive comps right now, and like the goal is to win, right? So and with Rengar reroll, to me it's kind of flexible in its like line selection. You can either play it with 7 Street Demon, and you can have Jinx 3-stars like your secondary carry with like Shojin, literally Shojin, Last Whisper, and IE, like 3 of these items. And then you have these on Rengar. Or you can go with 5 Executioners, and then you can put the Shojin onto the Varus 3 instead of the Jinx 3. And yeah, so honestly, both of those lines work really well. personally, I go for the Executioner if I get the emblem, and then I go for the Jinx and the Rengar if not, but also depends on if I'm contested and if someone's playing the other two lines. So with Nitro start, so these are kind of like the common like openers. Like this is how I think, so I'm just gonna like talk it out. I'm sorry I didn't like prepare anything. It's kind of really on the spot, but I went from confusion to like doing pretty well, so I thought I would just like talk out my process. But if Exotech start, I always at the beginning of the game put Jax in and check the Exotech items. If I see Flux, the yellow one, Flux Capacitator, as the first or second item, and that's a good indicator that Exotech is viable. I don't like to play it without Flux. That's just my thing, because I like to secure like my placements. But if you also have Rage Blade as a slam, you can pair those together like beautifully, and you can tempo with vertical Exotech. Like just go vertical Exotech if you have those conditions. And then if you have Nitro start, which 3 Nitros in stage 2 naturally, don't force that, it comes naturally with either Rage Blade or Shojin, because both of those can be held on Kindred. You can flex this into Zeri. So basically you play Nitro tempo, so you 2-star them, but you don't aim to 3-star them, and you eventually flex with Zeri, and you can also flex with Misfortune as well with Dynamo, because Shojin can be used on her, and then yeah, you know what I mean. The Rage Blade pairs with Zeri, Shojin can pair with Misfortune, or yeah. And then Street Demon, this one is very, very flexible. I actually really like Street Demon right now because to me it like pairs off into 3 different lines. With Street Demon start, you kind of have a lot of angles that are really good on the meta right now. Of course, Rengar and Jinx, you know, so you can have like your Street Demon, and then with an emblem you can also kind of like do whichever. You can either like focus heavily on Brand and Ziggs and going as fast to 8 as possible, upgrading them with your AP items. Like this is if you have like an AP start. There's not a lot of magic comps right now, so like that could be an angle to go. And if you don't, and you happen to have melee items with the Street Demon, well then you can go Rengar and Jinx. Both are very strong. And also, if you're going Rengar Jinx and now you're contested, you can even decide, oh shit, okay, I'm gonna now focus on going Brand Ziggs, and vice versa. But it's very like safe, you know, and I like securing my placement, so, you know, safe. Yeah, so both use Shojin though. So again, Shojin, very flexible. It's a safe slam. Unless you get started with BT and Hodge, you can just be like, motherfuckers, I'm going Rengar. And people back off. I've been like 3-way contested and people backed off. Well, I had spectral colors, so that's probably why. But if melee item opener, so if you start with a melee item BT, which cloak, sword, titans, oh my god, chest piece, I'm calling it chest piece now, with bow, and then Hodge, which is glove and tier. If you get one of those, then you can aim for Rengar reroll, and there's 2 of them, so it's kind of flexible. So you can either with 5 Executioners with Varus 3 and Graves 3, or you can go 7 Street Demon with Jinx 3 as a secondary carry. Either one is really good, and that you're just gonna have to use your judgment on, like scouting, seeing if you're contested, what are you getting in your shop naturally. Yeah, so that, and you want Vex too in this. So I mean, yeah, that's you're just gonna have to use your judgment on. But Rengar's in both, and there's outs, you know what I mean? More outs for the Street Demon than with Executioners. Like for me, I only go Executioners if I get the emblem. I don't know, I'd rather have an out with the Street Demon. So if Executioner emblem, then you can like just full send it Executioner route. You can decide like based off if you're contested or not, because like there's been games where I'm playing Rengar, someone else is playing Rengar, and I see they have Graves, so then I just start playing the Street Demon. So yeah, Shaco can hold your items at first, so can Graves for Rengar. The melee artifacts, yeah, they're fucking crazy on Rengar. Sorry, but they are. Silver Mirror Dawn, Prowler's Claw, Spectral Cutlass, Mittens, Infinity Force, they're all amazing on him. And also, this is a rare occasion, but if you get a Bruiser emblem or the artifact Blighting Jewel, you can go Fiddlesticks reroll. If you have Rage Blade plus category 5, you can go Vayne reroll with 3-star Jarvan. These are like rare circumstances on the bottom here. And then if you high roll Animo starting 3, like 2-1, not 3-1. If you high roll it and have 3 Animo off the bat, you get Uwu Blasters and like an upgrade. or emblem, then vertical animal squad. If not, don't. Because this comp is only good right now if you high roll off your ass, get your 5 costs, are rich, upgrade. Like, it literally, you have to high, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is reminding me of, like, Rebel, like, last set at one point. This used to be amazing. You could just kind of force it. No, right now you actually, these are, like, very conditional. All right, so here's the cheat sheet that I kind of put together for the YouTube video as well, just in case the PowerPoint, like, is a little funky, because I'm not the best at organizing everything into understandable words. But so here's kind of like my strategy, and I'll talk through it one more time before I end the video. My strategy so far this patch is, at first, I check my Exotech items. If I see Flux Capacitator, the yellow one, as the first or second item, then I consider Exotech. If I also have a Rageblade Slam, then this is perfect. You can start from Exotech or Nitro and go into Exotech. So there's 2 different openers, and with Nitro, you just emphasize the 2 stars for tempo, not focusing on the 3 stars. And then Street Demon is really flexible as well. If you have AP items, you can, like, Jeweled Gauntlet, Shojin, or Guardbreaker. I just slam Shojin first because the other 2 aren't flexible. But if, you know what I mean? But, like, go fast 8 with Brand or Ziggs if no melee items, or you're contested with Rengar, and if not, and you have melee items, then focus 3-star Rengar and Jinx at level 7, and Shojin can go on Jinx instead of them if you're uncontested. Or if you have good melee items, or you have an artifact like Silver Mirror Dawn, Prowler's Claw, Spectral Cutlass, for fast 8 Brand, Sniper's Focus and Mana Zane are really good on Brand for the artifacts. And then Executioner angle, you can go Rengar pairs with 3-star Varus if you have those. And so, like, if you have that in Graves, like, if you start to see Graves, Varus, Rengar a lot in the beginning, and you have melee items, and also you get Execution Emblem or Cut Purse, the augment, then there's this angle. And look and scout when you're playing Rengar, because you need to see, you probably will be contested, and you need to know which line they're going, so then maybe you can be the smart person and play the other one. You're still contested with Rengar, and honestly, combat augments are amazing with Rengar. But if you're contested, I have picked ones that give me duplicators so I can, like, get ahead and stuff. Just, these are really expensive, so watch where you go. And, like, the item slam decisions, I react accordingly with the Rageblade, you know, because you can go Zeri, Vayne, Twisted Fate, so really, like, use your judgment. Flux Capacitator, Zeri, if Exotech, Zeri. If you get Category 5 Vayne, or if you naturally get 2 of them, you could do Vayne too. If you get Twisted Fate, if you get Syndicate opener. I personally don't like this one, but it still works. And then if you go Shojin, you have a lot of options as well, and Brand, Misfortune, Xayah, Jhin, Kindred, Ziggs, and Jinx can be carries into that. Yes, so basically it's Exotech with Rageblade, Street Demon either with Brand and his AP items, Fast 8, or 3-star Rengar and Jinx with AP items on Rengar. I mean, melee, not AP. Melee items on Rengar. And then Executioner Angle, which would have the same melee items, just with 5 Executioner instead of 7 Street Demon. So yeah, I don't know if this was helpful, but I'll figure out better ways to, like, optimize getting, like, my information together, but I'm gonna, like, link this cheat sheet and put it in the description below. So if this was helpful at all, just let me know in the comments, and if you have, like, any ideas of how I can better, like, put this together, just let me know that as well. All right, thank you.